Yes, my friends, we're counting down the hours until the game against the Jaguars, and right after that, on the 16th, we'll face the Bucks. On the 21st, we'll face the Panthers. And man, my heart is racing for Week 1 against the Jets. Winning these 3 games will be a confidence booster for our upcoming opponents. Now, I want to hear from you. If you had any influence on the Steelers, what would you do to improve the team's situation? Or do you think things are perfect this way? I left your comment here. Dude, seriously, I would change a lot of things. If you would do that too, hit that like button hard. We need to be realistic. The Pittsburgh Steelers are in a strange position at wide receiver. We're just a few weeks away from Week 1 against the New York Jets, and the vibes at training camp in Latrobe are mixed. Calvin Austin III, Roman Wilson, and Robert Woods, 3 guys many expected to break out, started slowly. This sparked serious conversations behind closed doors and on Steelers Twitter about whether Omar Khan could pull off a blockbuster trade. And not just any trade. We're talking about bringing in a true star wide receiver to pair with DK Metcalf and elevate the offense before the 2025 NFL season even starts. Now, there's been a lot of talk surrounding Terry McLaurin. Some fans are already picturing the number 17 in black and gold, but let me temper that a bit. While McLaurin has reportedly requested a trade with Washington, there are strong indications that the Commanders aren't actually planning to move him. And even if they were, Pittsburgh isn't the most logical destination. Washington would like a top-tier receiver in return, and no disrespect to Austin, Wilson, or Woods, but none of them are likely to influence a trade for McLaurin. And that brings us to the juiciest part of today's story, Tyreek Hill. Yes, you heard me right. Tyreek Hill may actually be a more realistic trade target for Pittsburgh than McLaurin. The tension in Miami is real. Hill made some pointed comments about how the Dolphins handle third and short situations, throwing running back Devin Achane under the bus and raising eyebrows in the locker room. Hill said, "Take Devin Han out on third down. He's not a power back." That comment didn't sit well with head coach Mike McDaniel, who responded with a dash of sarcasm and a side eye that basically said, "We don't need you reporting from practice, Tyreek." Even Tua Tagovailoa chimed in during training camp, reminding everyone that rebuilding trust isn't just a handshake and a "my bad." This isn't just smoke, it's a brewing fire. And if things continue to unravel in Miami, don't be shocked if the Dolphins decide it's time to cut ties with Hill. Now let's be clear, this isn't a done deal or even a strong rumor yet, but the stars might just align. The Steelers have multiple third-round picks in 2025, and the idea of shipping one of them, plus Calvin Austin III, to Miami in exchange for Hill, is gaining quiet traction among insiders. Austin is quick, explosive, and built for that Miami-style offense. He'd slot right into that scheme with Jalen Waddle and keep the Dolphins' speed identity intact. And from Pittsburgh's side, you instantly get one of the most electric playmakers in football, someone who can take the top off a defense and create space for DK Metcalf and the tight ends in those heavy sets. Suddenly, Aaron Rodgers has a nightmare trio of weapons at his disposal, and you better believe that changes the entire trajectory of this offense. Sure, Hill is expensive, but if you want to win now, if you're serious about competing deep into January, sometimes you've got to take a swing.
Still, some in the front office might be hesitant. Paying 2 high-profile receivers over $30 million a year each? That's not the traditional Steelers blueprint. But Khan has proven he's not afraid to move differently. And let's not forget, Tyreek's current situation could push his price down lower than you'd expect. Now, if the Steelers decide Hill is too much of a gamble, there are still other interesting names on the board. Amari Cooper, Romeo Dew, Michael Wilson, even veterans like Adam Thielen and John Mechie have been discussed internally. But none of them carry the same explosive upside as Hill. This is a rare window where a superstar talent might actually be within reach. And if Pittsburgh wants to capitalize on Aaron Rodgers' presence and make one last aggressive push before the season kicks off, the time is now. So, Steelers Nation, here's what I want to know. Would you pull the trigger on a Tyreek Hill trade? Is Calvin Austin III and a third-round pick too much or not enough? Do you stick to the Steelers' long-standing identity and roll with the guys you've got? Or do you go all in for that one piece that could truly tilt the scales? Let me know down in the comments. And while the Tyreek Hill situation grabs headlines, we can't ignore the ripple effects it's having throughout the Steelers' decision-making process. If a move of that magnitude doesn't materialize, and to be fair, there's still plenty of hesitation around the cost, Omar Khan and company are eyeing several other options that could give this receiving core the upgrade it desperately needs. One name that continues to resurface with a sense of practicality is Amari Cooper. While not the flashiest option, Cooper brings veteran polish, strong route running, and proven productivity. The downside? He's not exactly known for his run-blocking ability, something this Steelers offense under Arthur Smith is prioritizing with its heavy personnel sets. But that's a trade-off Khan might be willing to make, especially with a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers under center. Rodgers has publicly admired Cooper's game for years, calling him a technician and praising his ability to find space against both man and zone coverage. It's no secret Rodgers prefers savvy route runners who can make pre-snap reads and adjust mid-route. Think of his chemistry with Davante Adams in Green Bay. Cooper could fill a similar role in Pittsburgh, albeit at a lower tier. But Cooper isn't the only name that's buzzing around Steelers HQ. Keep your eyes on Romeo Dew. Now this one's interesting not just for the skill set, but for the built-in chemistry. Dew already played with Rodgers during his rookie season in Green Bay, and while it wasn't a full breakout, it was clear the two had something cooking. With Green Bay's wide receiver room getting crowded, names like Matthew Golden and several new faces fighting for snaps, Dew could be the odd man out. He's young, affordable, and already familiar with Rodgers' preferences. From Pittsburgh's perspective, it's plug-and-play with minimal learning curve. No need for weeks of adjusting, building timing, or ironing out trust issues. Dew would walk into Latrobe and know exactly what 12 expects. And that's critical because time is of the essence. The Steelers can't afford to stumble out of the gate, not in an AFC North where every divisional opponent has gotten better. Rodgers needs guys he can trust immediately. That's what makes Dew such a smart target. Now let's talk about a sleeper name that hasn't made much noise in Pittsburgh circles but could be a surprise addition if things line up. Michael Wilson from the Arizona Cardinals. The guy is tough, disciplined, and fundamentally sound. He's not the burner like Tyreek Hill, but what he lacks in flash he makes up for with grit and intelligence. He's an excellent run blocker, something that would mesh well with Pittsburgh's offensive identity. And here's the kicker, Arizona is loaded with talent at receiver, especially after drafting Marvin Harrison Jr. They're missing that one element, deep speed, and that just so happens to be Calvin Austin III's specialty. You could make a case for a rare player-for-player trade here, with Pittsburgh getting a physical, route-savvy possession guy and Arizona getting the vertical threat they're currently lacking. It's not a common scenario in today's NFL, but it's one that would benefit both sides if the front offices are willing to think creatively. Still not convinced? Let's go deeper down the list. Adam Thielen. Yes, he's older. Yes, he's nearing the end, but he's still got reliable hands, crisp route running, and a veteran presence that could elevate a young Steelers locker room. The connection to Pittsburgh isn't new either. Remember, the team was interested in Thielen at the trade deadline last year. The Panthers' asking price back then, a third or fourth round pick, was a bit rich for Omar Khan's liking. But things have changed. Carolina's young guys are balling out in camp, and Thielen might be expendable. If the price drops to a fifth or even sixth rounder, don't be surprised if Pittsburgh pounces. It's low risk, high reward for a proven locker room leader. Steelers fans, now's your chance. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Which receiver should we go all in on? Tyreek Hill for the fireworks? Cooper for the reliability? Dew for the chemistry? Or maybe you see more value in one of the underrated options like Wilson or Thielen? Let your voice be heard and hit that subscribe button for more breaking news and analysis all season long. More updates coming your way. Stay tuned. And as always, here we go, Steelers.